All right, everybody, Reggie Evers from the Front Row Report. I'm joined today by Adam from About a Mile. Man, thanks for taking time, man. You're out on Winter Jam, and I can only imagine, dude, like you said, it's got to be a madhouse on that tour. It's one of the busiest tours of the year, and it's one of the biggest tours of the year.
Yeah, man, Reggie, you're the best. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. Yeah, Winter Jam is crazy. It's like run around, and do as much as you can, and then you have a little bit to take a break that you're kind of like, well, what am I doing? Because we'll go out and we'll play. You unload all your gear because we're our own roadies. You know, like we don't pay anybody to unload our gear and stuff. We just do that for ourselves. So we unload and set everything up merch wise, and then our equipment, and then we'll go out and we'll play for the albums beforehand. Acoustic, and I actually enjoy doing that a lot. It's one of my favorite parts. So we'll play for the lines, and then we'll rush in, and by the time it finally got the stage set up enough that we can put our gear on the stage, so we'll put our stuff on stage, and we play our set shortly after that. And then a lot of times I'll get off the stage and find out that Winter Jam's sold out, because a lot of these arenas get sold out, and we get to host the overflow shows. Band will rush over and we'll, and once all the bands that come over and play for the sold out crowd, because if Winter Jam sells out, they'll set up a stage outside, because they don't want to have anybody come and have to leave without seeing a concert. So it's great. It's like run here, and then by the time all that's where I'm like exhausted, and we'll have to miss dinner a lot of times. Usually after that we get like an hour just to kind of take a breath and figure out what's next. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been the best opportunity for us.
And especially for, your debut came out back in July. For a band that's out supporting, a major label debut like this, Winter Jam is the perfect tour for what you guys are trying to do right now. What is it like being a younger band, and not necessarily a younger band, but having just a debut out and doing a Winter Jam? Because every band has to play a significantly shorter set than you would normally have on a normal tour. Even a headliner is playing seven or eight songs as compared to 18 or 19 songs, so the openers get even less. And so I would assume it kind of works to your advantage, a little bit, but it can also be a detractor sometimes.
It's great. I mean, we can connect with the crowd really well, and every show, I'll tell the crowd, everybody asks us why we named our band About a Mile. And we named our band About a Mile because Jesus carries his cross about a mile. And you can just kind of hear the crowd go, oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Because nobody's heard of us before, and people seem to be connected with our songs as much as they can when they're hearing them for the first time. And a lot of radio stations are playing our singles, so that helps. A lot of people are singing a lot, and a lot of people have heard it, but the majority of people, it's their first time hearing us when they go to Winter Jam, and seeing them have a good connection with our band name and the songs that we have, it means the world to us, because a lot of these people will add us on social media before going to buy our CD, and we'll get messages from people saying, like, man, I connected with your message a lot, and I like your music a lot, and I've listened to your album, so it's a good opportunity for us to get our name out and meet a lot of new people.
Yeah, definitely. And I had a chance to check out a good portion of the album this last week, and the song titles. Loving the song titles. I mean, I Hate, and With the Out Crowd. Dude, those are awesome song titles. And they're catchy songs, too. I mean, yeah, man. Talk to me about this album and what some of the songs mean to you.
Yeah, well, we wrote the album for like 2 years. I got down to Nashville, and as soon as we moved down there, I figured out I have this disease. I have this disease called ulcerative colitis, and it was like it kind of shut me down completely for 3.5 years. I moved down, and immediately we began to write the album. But I thought that was going to kind of be like the best time of my life, but I didn't know I was going to be sick the entire time. I wasn't expecting to have this disease. So moving down and getting in the emergency room and having a doctor say, dude, you're going to probably struggle with this your entire life. It was only last Christmas that I found medication I'm on now that took away all my symptoms. So God provided something for me that would let me go out and tour. I never feel like I'm sick anymore. I have to go in and get medication every 8 weeks. It's called Remicade, and luckily my insurance covers it because it's kind of expensive. But I was extremely sick the entire time writing this album, and we wrote over 200 songs. But eventually, I would break down and I'd fall on my knees and I'd be crying a lot of the times, and I'd say, God, I don't understand how I could be going through this. What are you telling me right now? And usually the best songs would come out of those situations. That's what Who You Say You Are was written about. That's what SOS was written about. That's what Trembling was written about. So just like having something really tug on your heartstrings, I feel like that's where the best songs came for us.
Wow. So I mean, when you have an album as personal and deep as these songs are, how do you choose which ones you're going to play on this tour? Because I mean, obviously there's ones that are closer to your heart than others. There's ones that mean the most to you, and then there's obviously songs like Satisfied, and Power of the Cross that those are a little bit bigger, especially Satisfied, the single. I mean, how do you choose which ones you're going to play?
Well, if I had to pick like a favorite band that I listened to growing up, I always liked Petra. I love Christian radio, and that's what I grew up listening to. But I like a little more edge to it, and I love that band. I love their hearts, and I love the message of it. When you think about like I Hate Hate, even it's a little more edgy than the rest of the songs. I don't think it's that rocking of a song really, but it's still a little more edgier. So we wanted people to be introduced to a bit of a calmer side to us, because honestly, I feel like I have a lot I want to say, and that I have a lot that I want to get out to kids. I feel like the gospel message has a lot to say, so we put a lot of it in our music and get it to the world. That's kind of why we make music. But I wanted people to hear a softer side of us at first, and we'll go out and play in with the out crowd. But then we kind of play Satisfied and Who You Say You Are, just to tone it down, because if we were going out and playing all the songs that make everybody cry and make everybody jump around right away, I think that they would miss that, okay, hey, this band can play their instruments good and do a bunch of cool parts, so and get us all jump around, but can they slow it down and minister to us on an emotional level that get the message across that really makes our hearts just almost want to make everybody cry. We wanted people to know that we weren't just here for just fun and games. We have a message that we are really desperate to get out to everybody. So we tried to put a little bit of both in, and try to speed it up in the beginning and then really slow it down. I think we're playing probably in with the out crowd one of our faster songs, and then maybe our slowest song, Who You Say You Are, at the end.
Okay. I mean, your brothers, all three of you in the band, when you go through all the struggles, even with the sickness, how much, obviously it's even better having your brothers in the band with you for that support. How has it been being on a tour with Winter Champions with your brothers? Because that's got to be fun.
Yeah, it's a blast. I mean, I always say we're closer than brothers in a way that a band is close. But we're closer than a band in a way that brothers are close. We try to take the best of both worlds, and sometimes we fight more intense because we are brothers, but it's over in 2 minutes, and all bands fight anyway, because, emotions run high and pressure gets crazy, but we love each other to death, man. I want the best for my brothers, and it's been a blast being in a band with your brothers. I mean, I always tell people, I'm like, man, we grew up together driving around in our van, which we call our van Van Diesel because it's an overcomer. And we'd roll around the country and play for, 10 to 30 people. So, a tour bus together and playing out arenas and stuff and seeing what God has been able to do through us setting aside our differences and saying, you know what, let's love each other like brothers, and let's tell the world about the gospel and spread the gospel message through our music and let God use us however He can. It has made a huge difference in our lives, and it's helped us see past any difference that and an argument you could get in as brothers. And I honestly think that it's better being in a band with your brothers. I mean, it makes all the business side of things so easy. I wish there wasn't any of that, in our industry, but being in a band is a lot more than just getting a message out and playing music. You have to do all this crazy label stuff and lawyer stuff I didn't even know about. Yeah. But it's really easy when you're brothers, because we just kind of go get it done so we can get the message out, and go play our cultures.
Awesome, man. You mentioned Petra a little bit ago, and me growing up listening to Petra, I gotta talk to you about Petra. Also, John Cooper, big Petra fan too, it turns out.
Yeah.
John Schlitter, Greg Volz, Petra, I gotta ask.
I like John. My dad likes the other, likes the original. What's his name again? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
What was the original name again? It's slipping my mind right now.
Volz, Greg Volz.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, my dad's a big fan of him. And I like John. I thought his, because I tend to have a raspier voice anyway, a lot of days. I mean, I was singing for hours yesterday, and then we go outside at the crowd and never really lose my voice, but it gets kind of beat up, until I can warm it up, and I'll go outside for the lines, and I'll just yell at everybody and try to basically play a concert with an acoustic guitar for 1,000 people, even though I can only reach 10. and I listen to his voice, and he's got a little bit of a grit to his voice too. Yeah. But it's still pretty, it's still nice, it's still listenable, it's easy to listen to. And I strive to get that with my singing voice, especially whenever my talking voice is so dirty. And I love how much range he has. I'm always fighting to get more range with my singing voice, and it's getting better and better as the years go by. But a guy like that, he can sing the dictionary. I just love his voice.
Favorite Petra album?
I like On Fire.
Oh, nice. Mine's probably gonna have to be Unseen Power. I don't know why. It's just,
okay.
I feel like that was right at the best time, right in the towards the end of Petra's rise, but it was just captured what they were all about, I think. But On Fire was epic. So, and just that album cover for On Fire was amazing. The giant sword.
Yeah, that was so cool. Man, they're just so good.
Yeah, and they're still going. That's the crazy thing, is they're not going as strong, but they're still playing shows.
I know, it's nuts.
Crazy. But man, thanks for taking time today.